How to get an adrenaline rush. Adrenaline, medically referred to as epinephrine, is a neurochemical released in response to stressful situations. An adrenaline rush can involve an increased heart rate, rapid breathing, and a spike in strength and energy. An adrenaline rush usually comes in response to a stressful situation, but there are ways you can stimulate an adrenaline rush. It is healthy to periodically push yourself out of your comfort zone, and an added jolt of energy can come in handy throughout the day. You can get an adrenaline rush by exposing yourself to frightening stimuli or engaging in certain physical activities. Be careful, however. You should never do anything that could cause physical harm just to get an adrenaline rush. Method 1: Scaring yourself. 1. Watch a scary movie or TV show. Scary movies are by nature designed to make people fearful. If you are bothered by frightening stimuli in a scary movie, this may encourage a fight or flight response. This can cause your body to release epinephrine. If you want to get an adrenaline rush, watch a scary movie online or rent a DVD. Choose a theme that genuinely bothers you. If zombies have never really scared you, marathoning The Walking Dead is unlikely to encourage an adrenaline rush. However, if you have a long-standing fear of the paranormal, you may be frightened by a movie like The Ring. Pay attention to outside opinions. Certain movies are generally considered scary by critics and audiences. Psycho, Night of the Living Dead, Alien, and The Exorcist are considered amongst the scariest films of all time. If you want an adrenaline rush, a movie with a lot of jump scares and surprise moments might be better than something that's frightening on a psychological level. Remember, you're trying to stimulate a fight or flight response, so something that's direct and action-based will work best. Go for a scary movie with a lot of action. For example, a film from the Halloween franchise might be a better option than Rosemary Baby. 2. Try a stimulating computer game. If you're really into a computer or video game, you may get an adrenaline rush. Violent games tend to result in the release of adrenaline. Consider renting or purchasing an action-packed game with a high level of gore and violence. Military games and first-person shooter games often encourage the release of adrenaline in the body. 3. Take a risk. Risk-taking on occasion can release adrenaline in the body. In addition to causing an adrenaline rush, periodically taking small risks is healthy as it encourages you to step outside your comfort zone. The idea here is not to do something that could potentially hurt you. Closing your eyes while driving will certainly give you an adrenaline rush, but it's absolutely not worth the risk. Instead, stick to behaviors that would normally make you uncomfortable. Ask someone out on a date. Sing karaoke at a bar. Dance with a stranger. Buy a lottery ticket. Audition for a play. Anything that feels risky to you can cause an adrenaline rush. If you're interested in a bigger rush, there are certain behaviors that provide a kind of controlled risk. Things like bungee jumping and skydiving, for example, feel risky as you're falling from large heights. However, as long as you're working with an experienced skydiver or bungee jumper, you should be safe. If you choose to engage in such activities, work with a trained professional and follow all safety instructions exactly. 4. Do something that scares you. Fear can also stimulate the release of adrenaline. Facing your fears periodically, in safe and controlled situations, can provide you with a nice adrenaline rush. Think of something that scares you. If you're afraid of heights, for example, make plans to go to a rooftop bar with friends. If you have a long-standing fear of dogs, go to a local dog park. Expose yourself to small things that scare you. This can result in the fight or flight response that can trigger an adrenaline rush. 5. Go to a haunted house. Haunted houses can often cause adrenaline rushes for those in attendance. This can trigger the fight or flight response that releases adrenaline. The nice thing about a haunted house is that it's a controlled setting. You can expose yourself to scary stimuli while knowing logically you are still safe, allowing you to experience an adrenaline rush without genuine anxiety or fear. Seasonally, it's easiest to find a haunted house around Halloween. However, keep your eyes open throughout the year. Some organizations may do haunted houses as part of special benefits or fundraisers during odd seasons. If you live near an amusement park, there may be a haunted house attraction that's opened year-round. Method 2: Stimulating an adrenaline rush physically. 1. Take short breaths. Physically, taking short rapid breaths can cause an adrenaline rush. This may be because people often breathe quicker in response to danger. If you want to stimulate an adrenaline rush, try taking a few short and quick breaths and see if you feel an increase in your heart rate and overall energy. Be careful. If you feel yourself losing control of your breathing, stop. You do not want to accidentally begin hyperventilating. 2. Engage in action sports. Action sports are a great way to increase adrenaline. Regular physical activity is also great for your overall health. If you're looking for an adrenaline rush, try something like mountain biking, snowboarding, or surfing. For an added effect, pick an activity that scares you a little. This can increase your adrenaline. If you're a little scared of open water, go surfing. You can also try engaging in team action sports, like joining a hockey or football league in your area. Playing a sport that requires a lot of physical exertion as well as contact with other players may release some adrenaline. 3. Try interval training. Interval training is a form of exercise where you alternate between an even, steady pace and exerting yourself as much as possible. For example, you may spend 4 minutes biking at a steady pace and then spend 2 minutes biking like you're being chased by a wild animal. Not only can this cause a spike in adrenaline, you'll end up burning more calories and building your overall strength. When first starting interval training, go slowly. The adrenaline released will often make you feel like you can push yourself harder. However, you should stick to 1 to 2 minute intervals of intense training to avoid straining yourself. 4. Engage in a new form of physical activity. Simply switching things up can sometimes help release adrenaline. Our brains are naturally wired to fear the unknown. Trying something new can result in a sudden increase in adrenaline. Try a new sport or physical activity in place of your regular workout. See if you notice an adrenaline rush. 5. Drink coffee. Coffee can stimulate the adrenal glands in the kidneys, releasing adrenaline and triggering a fight or flight response in your body. This can lead to an adrenaline rush. However, use this method with caution. Too much caffeine too often can result in fatigue, leaving you feeling more tired than you were before your cup of coffee. If you drink coffee, stick to 1 or 2 cups at a time. Method 3: Taking precautions. 1. Keep track of your physical symptoms. When experiencing an adrenaline rush, take note of your physical symptoms. Usually, an adrenaline rush will pass over on its own. However, be aware of your symptoms and take precautions when necessary. You may notice an increase in strength. If you're at the gym, for example, you may suddenly be able to lift more weight. You may also feel less pain physically as adrenaline protects our bodies from pain. Be careful when experiencing these symptoms. Try to keep in mind this is an adrenaline rush and you should not overexert yourself. You will feel the pain when the rush passes. You may also notice a sudden boost of energy and rapid breathing. If these symptoms feel extreme, take measures to calm yourself down. Take long, deep breaths. Go somewhere and sit down. Take in the scene around you. This will help take your mind off whatever caused the adrenaline rush. 2. Do not induce an adrenaline rush too often. Exposing yourself to extremely high levels of stress over long periods of time is not healthy. Even short-lived stress can cause physical symptoms like stomach cramps, heart palpitations, and an increase in blood pressure. Therefore, do not try to stimulate an adrenaline rush multiple times a day every day. It can be fun and healthy to occasionally push yourself out of your comfort zone, but give yourself time to unwind afterwards. For example, watch a funny cartoon show after watching a scary movie. 3. Avoid potentially harmful activities. Minor risks and scares are a great way to stimulate an adrenaline rush. However, you should not engage in situations that could cause harm to yourself or others simply to get an adrenaline rush. Stick to situations that are safe and controlled. If you routinely engage in risky behavior in hopes of stimulating adrenaline, talk to a psychiatrist or therapist. This can be a sign of an underlying mental health condition. Borderline personality disorder is especially associated with a tendency towards risky behaviors.